Good morning and welcome to Gulfstream today on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. We've got a big day ahead, Brian and Samantha joining you here. It is another day we are off the turf, unfortunately, just due to the typical summer rains we get here in South Florida. But the good news is we got the Tapeta. We've got 10 races today, and that Rainbow Six is growing, Brian.
Yeah, everything stayed together pretty nicely on the Tapeta. You saw the rains yesterday. It was pretty much of a no-brainer it was going to happen today. Look at the pool, 91,000. There was a single yesterday in the finale. It did not come to fruition, but everything was very healthy. The payoffs regardless. It's also closing day of the Royal Palm meet here, and we'll come back on Friday for the Sunshine meet. And we'll talk about the champions over the course of the day, and Edgar Zayas and Safi Joseph Jr., three-way tie in the owner standings, as well. We'll talk about it and mention it throughout the day. But, yeah, that Rainbow's going to be a big one today. Looking forward to that. Some good, solid races as well. And, of course, early Pick 5 kicking off in about 53 minutes from right now.
All right, and let's take a look at your ticket, Brian.
Yeah, $36 for me. We'll spread a little bit in the opener. I want to remind everybody, too, and we will, and Pete will, and we will, and Pete will. But, again, like yesterday, this is a mile and 70 in the opener. If you've got the program, it's not at 7 furlongs on the main track. Those days have long since passed. We'll go to a mile and 70 on the Tapeta for the opener. Okay, we are off the turf today. A mile and 70 on the Tapeta. We'll go 4 deep, 3 deep in race number 2. Fast main track today, too. That's a good thing after yesterday, so kudos to the crew. In race number 2, the 5, Harmony Abario. I am a stubborn person. I will come back to him. Best bet in race number 3, Holiday Pay, is going to be a very short number with some scratches in there. Race number 4, the 6, Goddess Soteria for Gerald Bennett, the first-time starter with some good works. And in race number 5, off the turf at a $170 there on the Tapeta, mile 70. And I'll go to number 4, and everything stayed the same for me in my picks because Daniel's son for Rohan Crichton, he'll probably run on Hollandale Beach Boulevard if you let him because he's as good on Tapeta as he is on turf, and he's got back-to-back wins over both surfaces, so he'll be a tough customer in race number 5. That's a $36 early pick 4 ticket. We'll single the best bet, and we'll try to get some other stuff going on around it.
All right. Well, first race, let's get into it. We are off the grass, a mile and 70 yards on the Tapeta for this maiden special weight event. 2-year-olds, we have a couple of changes. The number 1, Garincha, will be ridden by Sonny Leon. The 3, Mustang Bay, is out. And the AEs, 13 and 14, are both out of this race here. But what remains, and the number 4 is a gelding. Yes, the number 4 is a gelding for Jose Pinchin.
Of all people, aren't going to forget that.
No, I'm not going to forget that one. And the 4 for you on top, which, I mean, you have to be a little happy with that, too.
Yeah, and I walked by Jose. I'm coming out here out in silk, so maybe that bodes well. Jose's a guy that can pop with these first-time starters with the right kind of horse. There's a slew of works here. I like some of these 5-furlong drills as well. The one on August 10th, I've got nothing to really go on here. They paid $40 for a son of Kozan. That's a pretty good number.
Yeah.
Stands for 6,500. Not a lot of afternoon horses in here, but I like Forge Steel, okay, that race that a lot of these horses come out of. I kind of also feel like their figures are inflated because he was so darn good. And, Super Sailor had to be second kind of feel to him. And at 41-1, we'll talk about him in a second. I'm kind of staying away from that race a little bit.
That's fair. Well, my best bet is in this opener, and that's the 5, Enter to Dragon. This is a horse for Jose D'Angelo that before his debut, when he was in the race with Gabaldon, Jose D'Angelo had said this is a horse that wants longer, but they were just going to start him off. And what I like is after that race, his debut, he didn't do any running, quite frankly, but it was a good, just kind of, there were maybe some issues that went on because he went on the bench for a couple months, and then he got another tune-up at 5 furlongs, and now we're going to get the 2 turns. It doesn't matter to me if we're on the Tapeta or the turf for this horse because it's the other turn for me today.
Well, you like the race, too.
Let's talk about the Bridal of Butterfly race because It's a Boss came back to win yesterday, and Nishume, did he win yesterday too? No, but It's a Boss did, but he did run okay. So Bridal Butterfly we'll see later today at Kentucky Downs, and we think that, you think so too.
He was so good on debut for Glen Hill and Bethany Bumgardner,
and Drayden
right?
Van Dyke goes to go ride for them at Kentucky Downs, so he's not on his mounts today here, obviously. So I think that's a strong race coming back. So I think Enter the Dragon with 2 turns, boom, let's
There
get
we
it
go.
in. Yeah.
Wide open race here,
It
too,
is,
and he
yeah.
should be a square. He's sitting so early in the betting. He is 6-1. Let's talk about Super Sailor, I guess. Bobby DeBona, 41-1.
That was weird.
Wow.
Yeah, that doesn't really happen with the Bobby DeBona barn. But this horse ran exceptionally well, all things considered. For the first time going 2 turns.
He did. I worry about these kind of races because Ford Steele looked like an absolute freakish superstar for Saffie Joseph Jr. Second start, he put it all together. He got to the turf. He got an extra turn. Wow, was he awesome. Those races sometimes, I mentioned it kind of tongue-in-cheek, but somebody had to be second that day. It was
right.
Super Sailor. The figure is big and is inflated because Ford Steele is the one that made the figure. He's the one that ran wildly fast. Jose Morelos, always a smile on his face, and for good reason because he's been riding in very, very good form. This horse wouldn't surprise me at all. We are on the Tapeta today. Again, it's kind of almost silly to mention the odds, but if they're going to bet him like this, he's a play against to me.
Yeah. He is. And let's just talk about the number 9 quickly because, the DJ Stable Silks, they're hard ones to ignore for this complete 180. And I found a stat, too, on the sire Caravaggio I wanted to bring up, Brian.
Yeah, there you go. 17%. That's not bad at all.
Not at all.
No, we're going to have to do it at 2 turns today. All of these horses, certainly your horse, anybody that's met the starter already has a big advantage. If you're going with a first-time starter, and I am, but at least you'll get some prices here. If you're going for a first-time starter on debut, you really need to earn it because it's very difficult to run 2 turns on debut. And again, don't forget now, this is 2 turns, 1.70 on the Tapeta.
Let's move on to race 2. We're going to take a look at these in the paddock, too, so prior to your pick 5s and maybe help you out a little bit more on some of these first-time starters. But race number 2 kicks off an early pick 4. Brian's got the ticket. You'll run it back on Twitter.
There it is. I did add a horse, actually. In race number 4, I added a horse, so it's a $12 early pick 4 ticket. We're still singling the best bet here. So I did add a horse in race number 4, and that is the 1 down on the inside, Rancho Vista for Dave Brady. He's got a lot of speed, so maybe that's going to play. And we talked about this yesterday. We need to mention it again today. If you were with us yesterday, there was a lot of rain, so it tightens things up a little bit on the Tapeta, and we'll see what we get, but that can play very speedy.
It can, indeed. And this is a little bit of a tricky race here.
I think so.
The 4 is out by Barabesco Baby, and it leaves a condensed field here. But the 5 on top for you, Brian, Harmony of Barrio, lightly raced and has upside.
Yeah, and I'm just not picking Tiz Aaron. You're not
can't,
either.
No.
I'm just sorry. We're not. 0 for 11 now, and we've had chances and hasn't quite punched through. Harmony of Barrio was behind her, but you mentioned it perfectly. Has upside. We're going to put blinkers on for Carlos Perez and a Barrio Stable. That's going to, theoretically at least, tighten her up a little bit.
Right.
We'll be closer. It's a compact field. I'll take my chances. We hope to get a little bit of value in here.
Yeah. The 6 Awesome Empress for me is just a filly that I like the fact that Melvis Gonzalez stays aboard to have a little bit of weight in a race like this because she is a 4-year-old. That's why already she was carrying some extra weight. So versus 124 pounds that she would get if she had a journeyman on, she gets the 3-year-old weight of the 117. And so I feel like that. And it's a good outside draw.
No, I don't disagree at all. Yeah. You're not coming out of Tiz Aaron's kind of races where we just don't really trust her.
It's really hard to trust her. Now race number 3, 6.5 furlongs on the main track here. It's allowance optional claimer. So we got hit with the scratch bug a little bit today. The 2 Life is Precious is out. The 3 El Principito is out, and the 7 Maptitude is out as well. And the 4. Holiday Pay. We've got a replay, so let's pull up the Saybrook and the Holiday Pay race.
Yeah, Holiday Pay kind of sort of took all the worst of it here. Ladam Bro, this was the comeback race for Ladam Bro, and Holiday Pay's in a sandwich here with Ladam Bro, who's a stakes winner. And I'm really looking forward to seeing him the second half of the year here after this comeback win was really impressive. Holiday Pay always taking the worst of it in between with his stablemate and then obviously an odds-on favorite or darn close to it in Ladam Bro, but he ran very, very well to be second in here.
Oh, yeah.
And he blasted Saybrook, who's got 4 lengths to make up on him. And this was Holiday Pay's first start since April 19th. So everything points to him today, including all the money. He'll be a very short price on the tote board with the 3 scratches, especially with El Principito coming out of this race, because he was going to take some money as well. And if you just watch this race, the fact that Saybrook finished 4 lengths behind Holiday Pay with a better trip and with a recency edge.
Yeah, you don't want any part of him.
You don't want any part of him. It's just very, very unrealistic to think he's going to turn the tables after what we kind of just showed you and what we're kind of laying out here.
Right.
That Holiday Pay's just every bit much tighter today.
Well, and it kind of seems like the number one sharp cookie will be, quote unquote, like the rabbit of the race.
Well, I mean, he's going to go.
He's got a lot of speed, so he's got
a lot of speed. And I'll tell you what, he gets helped by the scratches because he will be in front in here. But the thing is, and you just kind of saw it there as well, Holiday Pay's not letting anybody get away early, so that's going to put his stablemate in a tough spot. I will say this, 2 races in a row now on a fast main track and on a sloppy main track. One Sharp Cookie has run very, very fast.
Very. Quickly, what do you do with the 5, Make It Big? Because this is a horse that early on in his career, and granted 2021, looked like he was going to make it big.
Yeah, to be perfectly honest with you, if it wasn't Mike Lerman and Amicio Jaramillo, 2 guys I have a lot of respect for, he's like 50-1 in here.
Yeah.
Because he's drastically off form. It looks like he's training okay.
Right.
He hasn't been out since January. Mike does such a solid job. You think of XY Speed, but he's also winning races with other horses. Amicio rides for Mike a lot, too.
That's true.
That's
so
where it's like, to me, it's not like, hey,
a big
Amicio,
thing.
We're live here. Come on and ride. He rides for Mike all the time. I couldn't make this horse with a head start.
Okay. Race 4.
Well, you got him in second, though.
Yeah, I do. I just think maybe fresh.
Okay. Sure. Pick up a piece.
Yeah. Race 4, it's a maiden $50,000 level. These are fillies, 2-year-olds. The 3, Miss Abigail, is scratched from this race. It's a field of 7 5.5 furlongs on the main track here. And the 6, Goddess Soteria, on top for Gerald Bennett.
Well, I've got nothing clever here. I'm not going to tell you I saw these works or witnessed them, but with that being said, well, let's take a look at a stat now. The barn's been going very good of late, and this is solid. First-time starters, 19% on the dirt here. Won a stakes with a horse that won on debut that you had that day in the stakes.
Yep.
I like the post here. We're not all the way outside. We have a horse to our outside. Those, gate bullet drills are going to work for me, and they paid a good number for a maximum security earlier this year.
Yeah.
I always kind of think the 2-year-olds in training have a little bit of a leg up.
I think so too. She worked 10-1 at that sale too, and it wasn't a bad work by any means. I don't think she liked the Tapeta too much, so I am glad to see that she's on the main track for debut, because I feel like that helps a little bit. The 2, Valiant Girl, I don't have anything crafty to say other than the fact that it's Carlos David, and this is a barn that fires away quite well. Ignore the price. I know you're giving me that look.
Paid $1,000.
Okay, but still, that being said, the works at Palm Meadows, I mean, I'm not there. I don't see them. They're not on XBTV, but they're pretty swift. And you get Miguel Vasquez here. I don't know. I just think maybe we've seen this move. Pardon me, Edgar Perez. Sorry, if you print early, it's Edgar Perez. But I just feel like that kind of, I don't know, it makes a difference.
Check the tote board.
Yeah, that's fair.
Check the tote board. They paid $1,000 for a daughter of Valiant Minister. He stands for 5. She certainly looks like she's worked well.
Yeah.
It's a barn that is very prolific, basically, in everything, including first-time starters, 24%.
Edith is going to be bet extremely heavy.
Yep.
When Safi Joseph is debuting one for $50,000, trust me, they're probably like a $30,000 level. I think, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, this
He
is
puts them where they belong.
Absolutely, and this horse is owned by the Hildebrand, so it's not a tandem that Safi has a lot of horses with them. I would think this horse is ready. Listen, as she mentioned, if you printed early, Drayden Van Dyke is named on a lot of my horses. So
Mine
this is
too,
not
yeah.
technically a switch.
No.
He's not on Tayshaun Hazelwood,
Right.
who's Safi rides as well.
Yeah.
He's riding
so
today.
If you print early, just take
yeah.
in mind because Drayden is in Kentucky Downs.
Absolutely. Very fast. They're not giving them away for 50. Listen, they paid 40 for a Roguish. It's not like we got to worry about
Which is kind of a big number.
It is actually a very big numbers, right. So it's not like you said, ooh, they paid a lot of money and he's in for a tag. No, that's not the case at all with this horse.
No, it definitely a race where you check the tote board here.
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break, and when we come back, we've got Ron Nicoletti's Rainbow 6. We've got the Tropical Tapeta, pick 3, so don't go away.
And they're off.
New DRF All Access Past Performances. With one best-in-class product, you now get all 3 past performance formats. Easily switch between views. Access the most trusted information in horse racing with DRF All Access Past Performances. Go to DRF.com and use coupon code 1FREEPP for a free single card today.
Welcome back to Gulfstream today. Brian Nadeau and Samantha Perry with you on this beautiful Sunday afternoon. It just feels like every day here at Gulfstream is like vacation, Brian.
Sunday, fun day here at Gulfstream Park. We hope to see you out its closing day of the Royal Palm meet as well. We'll double it back in the Sunshine the Sunshine meet on Friday. So looking forward to that as well. And that's the precursor to the championship meet. But race 5 is Rainbow 6 time.
It is. And Ron Nicoletti, who also is on vacation quite a bit, has got his 43-20 playbook play here today.
Take a look at it. No single for Ronnie. So there it is at 43-20, and he's kind of bobbing and weaving. This is off the turf in race 5 on the Tapeta. You can see the spreads are in race 6 and in race number 7. And my top pick must have been Love in race 7. Doesn't have that one. 2 deep in race 8 and 9, and then 3 deep in the finale. And just take note, that one is off the turf as well. It'll stick at the mile end 16th in the finale. And Ronnie's going right down 1, 2, 3, all on the inside. And I will say this, we talked about this yesterday. Not only do field sizes hold together when we switch them over from the turf to the Tapeta, but these horses have plenty of Tapeta form as well, even if they are turf horses,
right.
Because it rains in South Florida, and it does it quite a bit, and unfortunately, it is what it is. Sometimes we have to move these races, so a lot of these horses
They've
are
already got
very
the form.
proven.
Yep, they are. We also have the Tropical Turf, or Tropical Tapeta, pardon me, pick 3, and we'll go ahead and take a look at that. It's a $54 play. I didn't have a single here. This race we'll get to in just a moment. Race number 8, I do have the 5 on top. That's Steeler Mischief in the finale. The same as Ron. 1, 2, 3 for me. Hopefully we get through that. I've had to switch some picks around, but Belly of Jelly, the 3 on top. A $54 play. Race number 5 here. We scratch the 2, Light Fury. Jose Morelos will ride the 3. Uncle Armando. Number 5, Uncaptured Boy, will be ridden by Edwin Gonzalez. Number 6, Tis the Bomb, is out. And number 8, You Talkin' to Me, is out. And Pete Aiello will go through those changes much more eloquently than myself. But both the 4 for you and I, Danielson.
Yeah, let's show it to you, too, because
yes.
we had a little inkling we might not be on the turf yesterday, so we were able to pull up a Tapeta video replay here. And this is Danielson on June 8th. You're going to see him level off in the race. Now, he did get set up. They went wild up front. And Capture Boy and Kingfish Stevens were chasing a fire early on. So, but Danielson has just been in such good form. He's going to win this by 4.5 here. And then what's he do last time? He comes back on the Tapeta. Now, they went crazy again last time, on the turf, 44-3 they
just
went
set
for
him up perfect.
They set him up perfectly, but you know what? He took advantage of it. None, there were some others that didn't, and he's going to run off here. This was his lone Tapeta win, but you can just see it right in front of you. He's absolutely streaking right now for Rohan Crichton. He was necked out on the Tapeta 3 starts back, and he's every single bit the horse to beat today. He was on the turf, and he certainly is on the Tapeta.
Yep, he is. It's hard to look past him. Now underneath, we're all scrambled, but not a lot separates the rest of the field.
No.
I do have Barry the Builder in my ticket. I didn't want to leave him out. He's on a 3-race win streak. I know that what worries me is now he's away from the Carlos David barn,
Sure.
but I thought before the scratches he was going to get set up okay. Him and Barry the Builder and Danielson have a similar running style where they need some speed to run at. So read into that what you will.
Yeah, there's none of it anymore.
No, exactly.
Uncaptured Boy's loose probably now.
Well, that is a worry here. An Uncaptured Boy is really hard to trust, but Edwin Gonzalez will get aboard, and we'll see what he can work out.
Yeah, the only good thing for a Danielson, I think more so for Barry the Builder than Danielson, who's probably going to come from farther out of it, they're probably going to be a pretty tight crew here. You know what I mean? Like, there's a 5-pack here. Irwani's going to try this Tapeta again for the first time in a bit. Now Jose Giangelo's got the star. I think he's a big player as well. Uncle Armando's got a monster Tapeta win 3-back, and he's dropping stiffly today.
Very wide open, kicking off that Tropical Tapeta pick 3 and Rainbow 6. Now race 6, a maiden special weight event, fillies and mares 3 and up. The 1 British Empress is out, and that is the only change in this race. 5 furlongs here, and the 7 K Jeanette for you. Second time starter for Mike Yates.
Yeah, late pick 5.
Oh yeah, late pick 5. Yeah, let's look at the ticket because I'm singling here right off the rip. Race 7. I do have the 4 on top. That is Baby Luck coming off of a layoff. Race number 8, the 5 on top for me, Steeler Mischief. Race 9, I've got my long shot. That is the 3 on the Nile. And in race number 10, the 3 on top for me, Belly of Jelly. It's a $45 play, and I'm just hoping to speed pop the field here in race number 6, but you saw it differently with K Jeanette. Hey, gonna get some weight off, which that's a good thing to have.
Yeah, and also I just thought, she got blitzed by Our Disaster, who was awesome.
Very good.
On her debut, and now she's going to go over to the Tapeta. I think maybe Sky Divine's going to at least try to press your horse a little bit early on, and K Jeanette, she was actually my best bet of the day in her debut, and she just caught a freak at least that particular day. And I think maybe it's obviously we got to prove it on the Tapeta as well. But I like this post, and I think she's gonna stick around a little bit. Bayerney just hasn't been able to see it out yet.
No, but the thing about blinkers going on here that I think is crafty is blinkers do not always equal sharpening a horse. Sometimes when they don't see what's going on, that helps them settle down more.
Okay.
And look at the fraction she rattles off. I'm going to hope for an opposite effect here.
If they sharpen her up, she's going to go about 41 seconds.
Yeah, she can't go any possibly faster than she has before. So we'll see. I think that it'll settle her down. Blinkers can be a tool that can really help or really hurt a horse. We'll see what happens here, but she's just going to try to take them all the way.
And to be fair, she gets a big help with British Empress coming out.
Exactly.
She added blinkers, and British Empress sometimes wants to run off a little bit. That's going to help her.
It helps. Race 7, it's a late pick 4 and a claiming $8,000. Non-winners a 2 lifetime event, 5 furlongs on the Tapeta. Edgar Perez will ride the 8. My Wife Knows It All, and you've got your late pick 4.
Yeah, we'll take a look at it here. Big spread here in race number 7, 5 deep, and we'll get to it in a second here. I actually switched my picks in race 8. It was 57. I'm going to go 75 now because I think Alistair on the Tapeta is a big move up to me today. Second off a long layoff for Nolan Ramsey. Single in race number 9 to Beach Party Bingo for Safi, and Tayshaun Hazelwood could have himself a really good day. And then in the finale, it wasn't my long shot. We're not going to call it that anymore. Bold Advance on top for me was going to be a giant number on turf, coming in off a win now on Tapeta. Well, that's long gone, but he is on top for me, but I am spreading in the finale as well.
All right, let's get into race number 7. It's an interesting race, a lot of different ways you can go. The 3 Must Have Been Love, speed play for you here.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at here. I don't, for a 5 furlong Tapeta race, I don't really see a lot of heat in here.
No, there's really not.
There's not, and he wants to go. He always does. Now he has been routing, but Amicio is here, and maybe he can just keep going. He's chased fast splits before on the main track, at least, sprinting. So we'll see what we get today. He should be a price too. Yeah. And he's kind of like I readily admit I had a real difficult time making a morning line for this race. I don't really know what they're going to do or where they're going to bet, but he should be a decent price in here.
Yeah, he should. And I think that, he hasn't connected lately, but we'll see. That kind of confusing him a little bit. I just went with a fresh mare here. Again, getting some weight off with Baby Luck. I think that having fresh legs in a race like this is a good thing, and it's really a lateral move. 16,000 at Tampa to 8,000 here.
Yeah.
It's not really a drop, I don't think.
I just worry if she's going to be able to see the field early.
Well,
she might get run off
that
the
could
feet.
be a problem for her. And one horse, I will say, we don't have her pick, but she at least is coming off of a win, is the 6, and we'll pull the replay here because it was a workmanlike win, but a win nonetheless here, but had some trouble.
Well, I got to say this, too. Look where she is, okay?
Yes.
Look how they went 46 flat. That's pretty darn slow for a Tapeta sprint, and she runs them all down, and she does it impressively. Look at the trouble she has, too, here entering the far turn. This was not easy. She was a month the best in this race. Now, we step up and face winners today. The flow of the race might not really help her either, but you can kind of see her. She was game. She is game, and you can see her reaching out here. This was a big time when she even gets a little traffic there. Cipriano Gil, to his credit, just kept after her, and it was a really good ride. I think if you're spreading, I'm not getting beat by her.
No, you absolutely cannot. Now, race 8, we're off the grass here, 1.1 on the Tapeta, claiming $25,000 level. We scratched the number 3 Fenwick and the 4 Downing Street here, and just our exacta reverse. You said it earlier, Alice Dare moves way up on the surface switch.
Yeah, I think Steeler Mischief was clearly the horse to beat on the turf, but now on the surface switch with Alice Dare having good Tapeta race, and it's Nolan Ramsey second off a long layoff. I expect a big move forward.
Yeah, I think that this guy moves way up, and like you said about Steeler Mischief, would have preferred the turf, but only one Tapeta try, so I'm willing to go back, because that was a tough race on the Tapeta.
Two things going on here, too. Now, Lasix and blinkers have gone on to him since the Tapeta race.
And he's changed.
Yeah,
big time. Race 9, 6.5 furlongs. This is a wide open feature we have here, allowance optional claimers. It's a clean race of 8. The number 7 Beach Party Bingo to Sean Hazelwood will ride. Drayden Van Eyck not here today. And the 7 on top for you, Beach Party Bingo.
Yeah, I mean, her race is better than anything these gals have done. Can she run it back? I don't know, but it's the old Samantha Perry angle. She got to the dirt last time, and she freaked.
She did. Yeah, My Lady James was just too good that day. That's what I'm doing with the 3 on the Nile. Look, this is not a barn that wins a lot, not a barn that's got a lot of horses, but there's no reason that a Daughter of Cairo Prince has not been on the dirt yet.
Or one turn for that matter.
Exactly. So now we have apprentice weight here with Melvis aboard. Look, she's not a great horse by any means. I would have liked to see her in a claiming tag on the dirt, but hey, we're here today, and I think it'll move her up.
I'm going to find you at the bar if she wins, that's for sure. Or you get us hot dogs from
hot dogs,
because she is a monster price in this field.
Yeah, she is. She better be. Yeah, I mean, there's a lot going on here. It's a very competitive field. Other than those,
well, I want to show Stiletto Heels.
Okay, yeah, let's do that because this is an interesting filly.
Yeah, I don't know what that. There was a huge gate scratch in this race,
right?
But they did bet this horse through and through, and I still don't know why. And it was like the seas parted, and here you go win the race. Now she did it. I don't want to knock her.
Right.
If they bet her again today, it's just a huge play against for me today.
I don't blame you. I think that it was she just had the hands play right into her, the cards play right into her lap there. I don't trust her, but again, play against this barn at your own risk.
Carlos David going good.
Yeah. Race 10, the finale here today. Off the grass on the Tapeta, 1.1 for these $16,000 claimers. We got the scratch bug here. 4 American Speed is out. The 8 Migrate Illusion is out. And Bold Advance for you. Is this a long shot?
Well, it was a long shot. It's no longer a long shot. on the Tapeta.
Okay.
That is for sure. So we're not going to qualify that, but because this horse does move way up. It was a long shot on the turf. It's more like a probably, especially with the scratches as well. Maybe 4, 5, or 6 to 1 now on the Tapeta. But he comes in off a Tapeta win. That's a positive. He's going to get some weight allowance here with Melvis aboard too. And I don't necessarily trust anybody that's probably going to be lower on the tote board than he is.
This is a really tricky race. Right? I went 3 deep, and I don't think I could not have the winner here. Belly of Jelly for me. I was completely against this horse last time. Spectra was okay yesterday. So there's not really anything to add other than the fact that, hey, we get Edwin Gonzalez back aboard. He was aboard when the horse won for the non-winners of 2 and has a little bit of forward position, which is going to help in this field.
Well, it is going to help because he's going to be close to who I think now might shake loose, and that's Beginning Green.
I worry about, he
could
just be gone. I mean, I don't think the horse wants to go this far, but could just play into his lap just due to the fact of there's no other speed in the race.
Well, they stretched him out last time. He didn't run all that poorly, actually, and are behind Barry the Builder in a race where he went way too quick early. He's very dangerous today with that behind him.
That's 10 of them for you here today, but big news in the lightning round because next weekend is the first stop in our Florida Sires Stakes, Brian. It's an exciting time to see these 2-year-olds just kind of round into themselves, and we've got the fields drawn for the Florida Sires Stakes.
Yeah, the entire card for next Saturday is drawn, so we'll have the first 2 legs, and it marks the return of, look at it, the boys were working hard this morning. I appreciate that, guys up there, because they got the slates here. Wiggle and Wine, of course. I might have this morning line done today. We'll get into these races a little bit. This is a good one. This is the Desert Vixen for the gals, the 2-year-old fillies. And we'll segue over to the Colts now. And this is the really exciting one because rated by Merit, the Dr. Fager, Neokos for Safi was so good, but rated by Merit when he won, maybe in June, he was the fastest 2-year-old in the country, in the world. I don't know. He ran a 92 buyer on that debut win, which is just not something you ever see. As a monstrous figure, excited to see him come back for Mike Yates and Jesus Rios.
Yeah, he worked yesterday. I was talking with Mike Yates during the races, and he's very excited. And it'll be very exciting to see how he fares out for St. Elias Stables. And in other news with First Racing, this our company here is they partnered with ARC with some more opportunities in U.S. and U.K. racing, including putting some all-weather surface stakes races in the mix from here as well. And there's going to be a qualifying race on Pegasus Day for an all-weather surface race over in Europe with travel stipend, and just really tightening the bonds between the U.S. racing and the U.K. racing, Brian.
Yeah, and it really kind of kicked off with the Royal Palm races, which have been so very successful both years now. We sent a winner over there and a runner-up over there, so that's pretty exciting, and that partnership has been very, very fruitful for those involved, and we look forward to continuing that.
Your best bet today?
My best bet today is Holiday Pay. It's probably, could be 2 to 5 now, unfortunately, with 3 scratches.
Mine is in the opener here, Enter the Dragon.
Okay, that's going to be a price. The long shot is out today with the surface switch and the scratches, so no technically no long shot today.
Capital L long shot for me with On the Nile. It's a big stretch, but we'll see how it fares out. That's it for us. We'll be back with you throughout the whole day for this 10 race card, but Pete Aiello will be upstairs and he will get you through the scratches and changes. Enjoy the day at beautiful Gulfstream Park.